In the 12th century, during the reign of King Stephen, the small village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England, was a peaceful and unassuming place. Surrounded by dense woods and vast fields, life in Woolpit was simple, dictated by the rhythms of the seasons. Yet, one fateful day, the villagers witnessed something so strange that it would become a story whispered across generations. It began when farmers were working in the fields near the edge of the forest. The day was warm, the sun high, and the air filled with the hum of insects. As the farmers toiled, their attention was drawn to a rustling in the nearby bushes. Thinking it might be an animal, they paused, but what emerged left them speechless. From the shadows of the trees stepped two children, a boy and a girl. They were unlike any children the villagers had ever seen. Their skin was a striking shade of green, their hair dark and unkempt. They wore clothing made of an unfamiliar material, woven in patterns and styles no one could identify. The children looked frightened and confused, speaking in a language that sounded like nothing the villagers had ever heard. The farmers, both curious and wary, approached cautiously. The children, though clearly frightened, did not run. They seemed as bewildered by their surroundings as the villagers were by their appearance. The farmers led them back to the village, where a crowd quickly gathered. The villagers debated who or what these children might be. Some speculated they were elves or fairies from the woods, creatures from folklore who had wandered into the human world. Others believed they might be lost travelers from a distant land. Though no one could explain their green skin or strange language, the children were brought before Sir Richard de Calne, a local landowner. Sir Richard, a man known for his wisdom and fairness, decided to take the children into his care. He instructed his servants to provide them with food and shelter. Yet, despite their obvious hunger, the children refused to eat anything offered to them. Loaves of bread, fresh fruit, and hearty stews were all pushed away. Days passed, and the villagers grew increasingly concerned that the children might starve. Finally, someone brought them raw beans, freshly picked from the fields. To everyone's astonishment, the children eagerly ate the beans, devouring them as if they had not eaten days. From that point on, they gradually began to accept other foods, though their diet remained peculiar. As weeks turned into months, the children adapted to life in Woolpit. Their green skin began to fade, taking on a more natural hue. They learned to speak English, and it was then that they shared their story, a tale so extraordinary that it only deepened the mystery. The girl, who was older and more articulate than the boy, explained that they came from a place called St. Martin's Land. It was a world unlike any the villagers could imagine, where the sun never shone and everything was bathed in a perpetual twilight. The people there, she said, were all green like them. One day, while tending their father's flock, the children heard a strange sound, like the ringing of bells. Following the sound, they entered a cave. They wandered through the darkness, drawn by the melodic chimes, until they suddenly emerged into the bright sunlight of Woolpit. The light was blinding, and they could not find their way back to the cave's entrance. Lost and frightened, they eventually stumbled into the village. The villagers listened in awe, struggling to comprehend the story. Was it possible that the children had come from another world? Or was St. Martin's Land a distant, hidden place, isolated from the rest of the world? Tragically, the boy fell ill and passed away not long after sharing their story. The girl, however, survived. She grew up in Woolpit, eventually integrating into the community. As she matured, she married a local man and lived a relatively normal life. Yet, even as she became part of the village, the mystery of her origins never faded. Over the centuries, scholars and historians have attempted to explain the story of the Green Children. Some suggest that they were Flemish refugees fleeing persecution and war. During this time, many Flemish immigrants settled in England, and their distinct language and customs could have seemed alien to the villagers. The green skin, they argue, might have been caused by malnutrition, a condition known as chlorosis. Others propose more fantastical theories, imagining the children as travelers from a parallel dimension or an underground world. The idea of St. Martin's Land as a realm bathed in twilight, accessible through a hidden portal, has captured the imaginations of storytellers and dreamers alike. Despite the many theories, the true origins of the Green Children remain a mystery. Their story has been passed down through generations, a tale of wonder and intrigue that continues to captivate. Were they simply lost children with an extraordinary story, or were they visitors from a realm beyond our understanding? The Green Children of Woolpit remind us that the world is vast and full of mysteries, some of which may never be fully unraveled. Their story endures, a testament to the enduring human fascination with the unknown.